Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autothoughts and Decepticons. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
I'm your other host, Audrey.
We are back in the Cyberverse mines. We've got 3 more episodes to talk about, and things are beginning to happen. In the present, I mean. Things have always been happening, but they've already happened. But
we are approaching plot.
Yes, plot is happening. And we meet a funny old man, and Bumblebee is sus. And we don't even have, we can just end it here, actually. That's like everything that happens in these episodes.
The most important part of these episodes now is that now everyone understands my naming convention for our Discord.
That's right. So I guess we should just go ahead and... Oh, by the way, everyone, give a warm welcome to the silent third co-host, Leon, freshly adopted this past weekend.
All right, well, he's a silent fourth co-host, because Fig has been the silent third co-host.
Sometimes we've had to remove him from the studio for being too opinionated. It's
true. We'll see if Leon follows in his footsteps.
Yeah, don't ask him about the DJD. He can go on for hours. So this week we watched 3 episodes as usual. We watched, which 3 are they? They are...
It is Macadams, Sabotage, and Teletron X.
Ooh. Teletron X. Can't wait to get to that fucking Wheatley-ass little orb.
Literally, that is I only have 2 notes for Teletron X, and one of them is real Wheatley energy here.
I guess he's technically more helpful, but we'll get there. We'll get there. First, we have to talk about...
It is like big Chapter 9 Wheatley. This is the part where we kill you.
Yeah, there's one line in there that makes me think that is absolutely...
This is the trap!
But first, we have to go where everybody knows our name. That's right, episode 10, Mac Adams.
So, hey, if you're part of our Discord and you don't know why my general chat was named Mac Adams, this is why. It came up at the IDW 1 comics, and now it's in Cyberverse, and this is why the general chat is called that.
And just like the real thing, there's no fighting, or I will turn into some kind of horrific steampunk monstrosity.
Like, very eldritch horror.
Yeah.
There's actually a line later on in the episode where it's like, I heard he's one of the original Primes, and it's like, yeah, he is.
Yeah, there's some...
You are correct.
There's something fucked up going on with old Mac Adam there. But first, we join a dogfight already in progress, because as it turns out, between episodes, Slipstream remembered what a starfighter is. And was like, oh, right, I got it. To chase into space, I need my own ship.
Yeah.
Look, when she's so focused on Windblade, it's hard for her to think straight, you know?
So true. Bumblebee does this really sick maneuver here.
Apologies to Lily last week, who said, I hope he doesn't learn to fight really good immediately after this. He does. He's epic now. He does the beginning of Revenge of the Fallen maneuver where they drop Optimus out of that fucking plane.
How dare you reference Bayverse here?
Look, it's the first thing I thought of, but it's way cooler because he has a minigun.
Yeah, he leaps out of the ship. He has a big gun. And he, lands on Slipstream's ship and then, uses the force of his gun not so much to damage her as to, change her trajectory and send her spiraling back to Earth.
Yeah, he blows her out of the sky with this big ass gun that they got a couple of episodes ago.
And when he gets back to the ship, he's like, "Oh shit, we should go to McAdams." And Windblade's like, "What?"
Shit, you remember that on your own? And we got to go to the psychic patch right now immediately. But first, we need a place to land. Thankfully, there is a
Bumblebee-shaped mountain.
Bumblebee-shaped mountain nearby, and both of them go, "Hey, that looks like you." And later, someone else says, "Hey, that looks like you," in a really weird way, but we'll get there.
Spoilers, it's Macadam.
He sees through time.
He's definitely not a prime, don't worry about it.
He's not one of the original 13. He's just a normal man. Anyway, it's time to go to Macadam's old oil house.
Before we go into this memory, I do just want to say, quote the line that Windblade has to Bumblebee when he returns from his ridiculous escapade doing this to Slipstream's ship. She looks at him and goes, "That was a terrible idea. Good job, Bumblebee."
You're back to your old self, pulling ridiculous stunts. And yeah, it's Macadam time. We kind of, I'm pretty sure this is like directly after, or at least the day after, the events of Cube. Because we see Bumblebee's Cube shenanigans up on the TV.
It's very soon after. It's within like a week for sure.
Shadow Striker and Hot Rod are arguing about which team is better at some point in here.
Shockwave and Wheeljack are doing crimes.
Yeah, they're palling around. They're forcing their little test monkey to dance. They're both so normal. And one thing you got... Yeah, so this is pre-war. Everyone's mingling. And one thing you gotta know about Macadam is that there's no fighting allowed.
Yeah. So, following Cube, Bumblebee's like, "I need to take my new BFF Windblade to the coolest place in town, the Ozdust Ballroom." And he takes her to Macadams, and she's like looking at all this, so she's like, "There are a bunch of fucked up people here who are having normal conversations with each other. What's the deal?" And, Bumblebee is like, "Yeah, it's Cheers. Everyone knows your name." Also, some people say that Macadam is one of the original 13 Primes, but, don't worry about it.
Yeah, and, he's introducing Windblade to everybody. Ratchet has a medical emergency, so he can't stick around. Grimlock's telling some bullshit story. Then Soundwave plugs into the fucking speaker system.
Hey, you like Vento Oreo?
And gets down.
This is literally the dance scene from Vento Oreo.
Absolutely. All we need is a knockoff version of Pussy Control to be playing, and it's perfect.
It is Soundwave and two, unnamed seekers.
Yeah,
who are
I think it might be the same two unnamed seekers who are Shadow Striker's future limb donators.
Could be. Unclear. Whatever it is Soundwave and two unnamed seekers doing the Vento Oreo mob dance in front of a tortured person, essentially.
And, there's no tortured person in this scene. The source scene has a tortured person in it. Unless there's something we don't know about that jukebox.
Hard to call here, huh?
And then...
What's the line between fighting and torture?
I guess we'll learn more about that in our third episode this week. But Bumblebee sees a couple of guys sitting at a booth, and he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta introduce you to my best pal in the whole world." And he goes up to Optimus and Megatron and he goes, "Hey Megatron, this is my new friend Windblade."
Megatron, my best friend in the whole world.
But they're busy talking shop. Optimus and Megatron are talking about, they're having an argument about what's best politically on how to unveil the Decepticons, pretty much.
Yeah, and Optimus is like, "We should have a rally." And Megatron's like, "We should have a murder."
Yeah, he's like, are you really sure that a public rally is the best thing to do? I have other ideas. Like, yeah, I know what your other ideas are, man. Then we see Wheeljack and Shockwave hanging out and forcing a little test monkey to dance.
And at the end of all of this, after being sort of rejected from Megatron, Bumblebee takes Windblade over to the bar, where he introduces her to the bartender, McAdam.
Fat Rung. He looks
so
much like Rung.
He's wide Rung.
I get. Rung was short, though, too, and McAdam's a big boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, it's just, he's just, larger Rung.
Yeah, and he's...
Large Rung.
He's a jovial fella, and he says, hey, you two are in a cave right now. It's shaped like Bumblebee's head, and Bumblebee's like, oh, that silly guy. He's always saying weird shit.
Yeah, so McAdam starts speaking in tongues, and in the memory, Bumblebee and Windblade are like, oh, you're drunk, McAdam. And then in the present, they're like, oh, shit.
Oh, fuck. He knows something. They go back. Bumblebee immediately starts looking for another McAdam member, because he's like, this guy can see the fucking future. He knows what's going on.
Okay, my favorite part about the second memory is that Deadlock is there.
Yes, so... We go from idyllic pre-war McAdams to beginning of the war, early stages of the war McAdams. You can tell because the buildings are still mostly there and not completely bombed out husks. They're working on it though, and it's we see a bunch of Autobots and Decepticons lined up and arguing, but of course no fighting. Deadlock is here. Also,
Chromia finally gets to speak after,
yes.
several episodes of her being there, but, not being able to speak.
And just like her IDW1 counterpart, she's...
Very gay for Windblade.
One, very gay for Windblade, and two, is constantly saying to Windblade, can we go home? I'm sick of Cybertron's shit.
We need to fucking go... I mean, to be fair, mood.
Yeah. But Windblade has, she feels a sense of, she needs to help Cybertron. Bumblebee's hanging out with this nervous-looking Decepticon named Deadlock.
Yeah, let's talk about Deadlock.
Another IDW1 import in Drift here.
So, Deadlock wants to leave the Decepticons. And Bumblebee is dead set on helping him. Chromia is, not thrilled about having this Decepticon here, and neither is Windblade, to be fair. Bumblebee's he's not a Decepticon, or at least he wouldn't be if he had a choice. That's what I'm trying to do right now, and he's trying to get Deadlock out of the Decepticons. And sure enough, who shows up to ruin the day but Megatron?
Megatron busts in and is like, where is Deadlock? Give me Deadlock, and he points his fusion cannon right at him, and then McAdam comes out the back and says... I
know that he hasn't had space heroin in days.
McAdam comes out the back and says, how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, young man? And then we don't see him transform.
We get actually one of the best sequences in this show, where he transforms and all we see is his shadow.
We just see a huge... mess of gears and panels
and missile launchers.
Yeah,
I cannot express enough how many missile launchers he has when he transforms that we can see just from his shadow.
And he tells everyone to knock it the fuck off. And Megatron leaves. He tells Deadlock, you can't stay in here forever, and Megatron just goes, yeah, you can. I got a bunk in the back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and the last thing of this memory is Macadam, looking at Bumblebee, is that was really cool. You know what else was really cool is that time that you, punted Slipstream's ship out of midair and sent it hurling back to Earth. And then, immediately Bumblebee is, sent back into his mindscape with Windblade, and they're both like, oh shit, how did he know that?
And so he's back at it. He's going again. He's looking for another McAdam member. He finds one. This one is directly before Bumblebee leaves on the Ark. the bar has closed, but McAdam is still there, and the surrounding cityscape is just completely fucked.
Important to note, especially in reference to like the next episode, that at this point Bumblebee has had his voice removed again.
Yes. Although notable to that, he also had his voice in that Star Trek episode a couple of episodes back.
Yes. So there are 2 times in Cyberverse that Bumblebee got his voice got. The first time is when Megatron originally pulls it out, which we saw a few episodes ago. And then he gets it fixed, and then it gets damaged again. And we haven't seen how it gets damaged again yet.
And, but yeah, so they're back in McAdams, and they're just kind of reminiscing about old times before Bumblebee goes away. And McAdam comes out, and he's like, hey, listen, time and space can't keep your friendship apart. You'll see each other again someday.
Well, I mean, to be fair to McAdam, time maybe not so much. Space definitely did.
They found each other eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
And they make a little toast, and it's very nice. And then McAdam says, anyway, you gotta find the king of the dinosaurs.
Who is clearly, again, like, for anyone who knows anything, it's Grimlock.
Who could that be? Ooh, I wonder.
Spoiler, it's Grimlock.
Oh, goodness. Who could the king of the dinosaurs be?
And this episode literally ends with them being like, well, that wasn't particularly helpful, but at least now we know we have to find the king of the dinosaurs, whoever that may be. Spoiler again, it's Grimlock.
I don't know why you're insisting on that. It could be anybody.
Could be. You're so right, Nero. It could be anyone.
What if it's Huffer? You know?
You're right. No, it could be Huffer. It could be Beachcomber.
Yeah, what if it's Bumper?
Could be Powerglide.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
Could be Springer.
Yeah, it's totally Springer. So, but yeah, actually, it isn't that they need to, what Bumblebee specifically says, that I need to figure out what a dinosaur is.
That is pretty good, I have to say.
And that leads us right into episode 11.
Sabotage. This is like the Shockwave showcase episode.
So, Shockwave, all the way on Cybertron, knows exactly what's going on. Slipstream has called him up to say, hey, Bumblebee and Windblade are cruising around in one of our ships and using your cortical psychic patch. And Shockwave is like, that motherfucker. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you Windblade to do whatever you like with. And then I'm going to gaslight Bumblebee into giving us the location of the Allspark. Yeah,
then I'm gonna go sicko mode on Bumblebee, as I want to do.
I'm gonna convince Bumblebee that he vented.
So, it starts with, again, Windblade and Bumblebee in Bumblebee's mindscape, and, Shockwave's like, newsflash assholes, it's my cortical patch. So he patches himself in, and he just, slams a hand through Windblade's abdomen.
Yeah, he, astral fatalities her.
Yeah. And she's gone, and, several minutes of this episode are dedicated to Windblade not being able to get back in afterwards. And then, Shockwave puts the trans in Transformers by turning into Windblade.
By the way, it's worth noting, of course, that Windblade is not using a patch. She's using her city speaker telepathy in here, which means that Shockwave's fucking mental willpower is ridiculous.
Or his technology is.
Either one. I think
or
it's
that he has created, that the cortical patch that he created is strong enough to overcome city speakers, which is also an insane thing to say.
Yeah, and so he turns into Windblade and goes, hello, Bumblebee, my best friend.
Yeah, so
you should look at this memory. I love you.
So, literally, Bumblebee's like, why are you talking to me like that? And Shockwave's like, because I'm your friend. And we get, some real Shockwave autism moments here.
I enjoy spending time in your company. And he, sort of whaps his hand against Bumblebee's shoulder like he's trying to pat it.
It's so good. He's so useless.
Fuck, how do I talk to someone I like? It's been so long. Yes, I enjoy your company.
And of course, what Bumblebee and Windblade were looking for, following up from last episode, is again memories connected to the King of the Dinosaurs. Definitely not Grimlock, don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's a mention of Starscream in a crown. Very funny little
you should see me in a crown. We'll see more of that later.
Shockwave directs him to the fake memory, and we see Bumblebee on the Ark, and Optimus announces that they've almost, they found the Allspark, and they're
this scene is so funny. We need to talk about this scene a little bit because it is Optimus in like the chair and the bridge or whatever, and this is a direct Star Trek parody, complete with like the TOS music.
Absolutely. Every time we're on the Ark,
really fucking good.
Every time we're on the Ark, it's just a TOS episode.
But like this moment, I feel like stronger than almost any other moment we've had so far has been like a direct TOS parody.
For sure.
It's so fucking good.
So Optimus says they found the Allspark and they're heading towards it. And Bumblebee, everyone's cheering, but Bumblebee sneaks off and he reports to his fucking master Megatron that the plan is almost complete. And Bumblebee's like, no, I'm not sus. I'm not imposter. I wasn't an electrical.
I just want to point out that, like, in this memory, Bumblebee has his voice.
Yes.
Which means that, like, Shockwave was like, when did Bumblebee get his voice ripped out? Unimportant.
We know it was fixed sometime on the Ark. We don't know, and frankly, Bumblebee doesn't know either. So like, it's probably fine. For all it's been a few million years. Like things are a little rusty in there, But anyway, yeah, Bumblebee's freaking out. Windblade is too, but that's because their ship has been remote control hijacked by Shockwave.
And also, she can't get back inside Bumblebee's head. Yeah,
she's trapped in the cockpit while Bumblebee is in his own mind and panicking. And Shockwave's just like, you were sus. I saw you venting. Trust me. We're imposters together, bro. It's okay.
To make this even worse, the next memory that Shockwave puts him into has him basically spacing Wheeljack.
He does.
Without any explanation, which again is really funny for a character that we know is alive.
Literally, Wheeljack walks up and he says, "I saw you cut the fuel lines. I saw you in engineering, bro. You vented." And Bumblebee pulls the old, hey, Wheeljack, check this out," and shoves his stinger in his fucking abdomen.
Vent this. And then he like spaces him, and Ratchet's like, "You motherfucker, you spaced my husband."
Yeah, and beats the shit out of him. Also worth noting, first appearance of Rack and Ruin in this show.
Yes, Rack and Ruin. And also, I think the first voice from Ratchet.
Yes, this is, he had one line in Mac Adams where he was like, medical emergency.
Okay. Alright, okay, that doesn't count.
This is the most Bones McCoy Ratchet has ever been, I think.
And it's so good.
He's very raspy in this show.
I'm not saying that I'm sexualizing DeForest Kelly, but I am sexualizing DeForest Kelly, and the closer that Ratchet can get to Bones McCoy, the happier I am.
I gotta say one thing about Ratchet's design, though, now that we're seeing him more up close. I don't like the weird lines going from his lips to his eyes. Those look strange.
I don't mind them. It's not so different from Prime, honestly.
Yeah, but he's got like he looks like he's got a fucked up mustache. Like a really fucked up mustache.
Again, it really isn't that different from Prime.
Anyway.
I concentrate all of my character design hatred onto Wheeljack. And his fucking negligee and his fucking mustache.
Look, he's got his own sense of style, he's just living his life.
He certainly has that, yeah. And
Windblade gets captured as the ship is piloted to an abandoned airplane hangar
by Slipstream, of course, because this too is Yuri. Let us not forget.
Have you noticed that Slipstream is like buffer than the other Seekers?
It's the Yuri.
Yeah, like she's lifting and she's thinking about Windblade. That's what I think is going on there. But like, if you compare her to Nova Storm and Thundercracker, I'm pretty sure she's bigger.
Yeah, so let's talk about the King of the Dinosaurs. Let's talk about Ace Attorney Grimlock.
I don't know why you keep saying that the King of the Dinosaurs is Grimlock. We don't even know he turns into a dinosaur. But yes, he is prosecuting Bumblebee. He says, "Are you sure you saw him vent?" And Wheeljack's like, "Yeah, he vented me." Anyway, that's supposed to fucking work.
Unlike in a typical Amogus game, however, Bumblebee has the option here to run.
Yeah, he fucking busts out with a Hail Megatron and parkours out of the room. I gotta give props to Prime here, where after they exposed him, he gets up and he's like, the fucking punishment is death, and he brings his axe out.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, you thought the M. Night Shyamalan twist was that Bumblebee was a traitor? Newsflash, so asshole. It goes so much further. Yeah. Optimus is a fucking traitor.
This is amazing because, yeah, Bumblebee escapes while Windblade is fighting off the Seekers because, yet again, they forgot to tie down her wings. It's how she escapes every time, folks. Come on.
Her name is literally Windblade.
Yeah, like, tie the Windblades down, motherfuckers. Come on. But, yeah, Bumblebee escapes. And then Optimus chases him down. There's a fucking shot of him dragging the axe along the wall with, like,
it's very The Shining.
Yeah, but then he's like, "Now I've got you right where I want you. We can talk about how we're both traitors, and we're going to kill everyone on the ship and go back to Megatron."
And this is enough for Bumblebee to be like, "No, this is a lie."
And even Shockwave is like, "Yes, that was perhaps a bit too far."
Yeah, so, like,
I was just having some fun.
Yeah, Bumblebee comes out with the memory, and Shockwave, like, flickers between Windblade for a moment before, like, being like, "Yeah, no, it was me. I got you. I got you."
Anyway, I have your best friend at ship gunpoint right now. So unless you tell me where the Allspark is, I'm gonna fucking reduce her to a homogeneous pile of slag.
And Bumblebee is like, "Cool, check this out," and just, like, disconnects himself.
Yeah, he just runs into the cockpit, but he can't take control back. And then Windblade, who is currently getting the shit shot out of her, is like, "Hey, do you remember that red button I told you never to press?"
She's explicitly getting, like, electric torture.
Nope, that's not until
oh, you're right. That's next episode.
Windblade
goes through it in these episodes.
She's trying to Jedi deflect them, but it's hard to do that with big old ship-sized laser blasts, and so she's getting lit up, and she's like, "Hey, Bumblebee, it's time for you to press the red button," which is apparently,
you won't guess this.
Why is this one here?
Listen, every good ship needs a self-destruct button, and this is this one's.
Here's what I'm going. I'm going to explain. That's the hyperdrive button, okay? And he just did, like, a miniature version of the holdo maneuver from The Last Jedi. He crashed into the hangar at light speed and blew everything up. Because unless Megatron...
It's literally a self-destruct button.
Megatron knows how expendable the Seekers are, so he gives them all the option to just turn all of their fucking planes into bombs.
Megatron does not know how expendable the Seekers are. That is a critical plot point later on.
Goodness. But yeah, they managed to escape, but they've lost their ship because it blew up. So that brings us into the next episode, which is, of course, Teletran X. This is the first appearance of any humans in this show. There's like 3 seconds of a boy looking at Windblade and Bumblebee as he passes by them.
I think I missed that.
Yeah, no, it's so quick. You if you're looking away, you will not see it. But, like, there's a kid in the back of a car who sees them standing in front of the Sharkinator billboard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, before the cold open. You're right. Yeah.
And he's like, "I want to see that movie."
Yeah, so they are now without a ship, and they are super on the run from the Seekers. And not doing, I have to say, a great job about it.
I must say, robots in disguise is often the tagline of a lot of these shows. They are hiding at an airport, and shortly after a plane takes off, they both transform and just start walking around in broad daylight. And
what is your point?
It's fine, and nothing is wrong here.
That's sort of what I thought. So, basically, at this point, they're like, damn, resources are bad, and Windblade, who is the de facto leader of this twosome, is like, we need to split up.
And, but then, of course, they start getting a Autobot distress signal, and Windblade's like, oh shit, I'm gonna go check this out. You can handle yourself on your own, though, right? Like, even at, like, 4% of your operating capacity, you're still Bumblebee, right? And he's like,
surely you can do this.
And he's like, no, please take me with you.
And she sighs and agrees.
So they go. They follow this distress beacon down to a big stinky hole.
And they find Navi from Zelda. Hey, listen.
By the way, I like that they can use the ladder cage around the human-sized ladder as a ladder. That's a cute detail.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's very good. So they find Teletran X, who introduces himself as Teletran X. Windblade is the first person to reach him, and he goes, "You are not a crew member. Go fuck yourself." And then he sees Bumblebee, and he's like, "You're a crew member. How could I help you?" This will be important for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, so Guilty Spark from Halo, Ghost from Destiny, Navi, Wheatley, pick an annoying orb.
We are not in the Wheatley zone yet. There's a specific part where we go head over heels into the Wheatley zone, and I want to save that very specifically for when we do that.
And they're down in this big door in this big huge sewer, and they're trying to get this little fucking orb to tell them where the Ark is. Yeah,
so this is the AI system for the Ark, and it won't respond to Windblade because she's not crew. Again, critical part, but it will respond to Bumblebee. Unfortunately, Bumblebee can't talk. So between the two of them, they are trying to figure out a way to get Teletran to actually tell them where the fucking Ark is. Of course, as they do this is where we get into the Wheatley zone. Hey, Portal 2 Chapter 9, the part where he kills you? Hi, this is the part where he kills you. This is the part where he kills us. Chapter 9, the part where he kills you. The achievement unlocked, the part where he kills you. Description, this is that part.
They ask him what he's doing down here. He goes, "Oh, I've been set here as a trap by the Seekers." And then all the lights turn and goes, "This is the trap." And it's Slipstream. She's here. She moved fast to set this up. She is
so dedicated. I mean, listen, I've seen lesbians on the hunt for pussy, so I understand. But damn.
So they actually do manage to capture Bumblebee and Windblade here and tie them up, and they're like, "Okay, Bumblebee, you're gonna tell us where the Allspark is, and I know you're not gonna do that if we just threaten your life." So we're going to start electroshock torturing Windblade.
Yeah, and Windblade the entire time was like, "Don't tell them shit."
And you know who the one holding the wand is. I mean the electroshock. I'm going to go.
However, Slipstream has made one bad calculation, which is that she's also not part of Teletran X's crew.
Yeah, so the crew, the orb. By the way, the other Seekers here for whatever fucking matters. It's Thundercrack. It's actually all of them. It's all of them on Earth currently. I
think. It's Acid Storm, Thrust, and Thundercracker.
And Novastorm.
Yeah. By the way, calling Teletran X an orb is not correct. It is literally Gladys's face.
It is. He's like an oblong shape.
Yeah.
But
like,
yeah,
this is a very unsubtle Portal reference, which is fine. I enjoy it, but like, you need to understand that it's a very unsubtle Portal reference.
When it's fine, he's fine with them torturing Windblade. He doesn't give a shit. However, at one point they shock Bumblebee, and at that point his defenses kick in. He gets a little like force bubble around him, and he knocks all the Seekers over.
Because Bumblebee is crew.
That's right. Windblade can fucking rot for all he cares. So they escape, and they're running through these tunnels, pursued by planes. And they're still trying
like 5 of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. And, you know, they're trying to get Teletran 1 to tell them where the Ark is and how to get out of here. Second one's more important at the moment, but, you know, gotta work on it. And eventually, Windblade gets cornered.
She basically, like, sacrifices herself because she knows that Teletran X is the key to finding the Ark. And so basically what she says is, like, Bumblebee, no matter what, you have to make sure you protect this fucking oval. And she, like, sacrifices herself and gets caught behind these collision doors.
Yeah, these big old blast doors.
I guess, these blast doors. And Bumblebee and Teletran X get out, and Teletran X is like, would you like to find hiding spaces? Because they will be here momentarily. And
yeah, when he says, you know, because Bumblebee really wants to go after Windblade, and when he says she will be overwhelmed in mere moments, and they'll be after us soon, the only thing I could think of is that one bit in Last Stand of the Wreckers.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That immediately popped into my head. Like, oh, I hope not.
But again, it's that same Wheatley thing, like, this is the part where we kill you kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So instead, Bumblebee transforms, opens his door, Teletran X gets into him, and they drive off, and the last thing we hear, basically, is Teletran X going, oh, this is a good hiding space. Yep.
And they drive off into the sunset to find the enigmatic and utterly mysterious king of dinosaurs. We just don't know who it is.
It could be anyone. It could be Grimlock or anyone else. I think it's Perceptor.
I think it might be Sea Spray, perhaps.
Fuck you.
It's naming more and more obscure guys.
I think it's all 3 parts of Reflector.
I think it's Buzzsaw. He's not a bird. You know, birds are kind of dinosaurs. When you
I think it's Ratbat.
Well, I
think it's Circuit.
Yeah, that guy, he doesn't have any fucking future. It's oh god, what's Blaster's pal's name from the Marvel comics? It gets into a wheel.
I think it's Pipes.
No, that guy's kind of, he can't be a king of anything. That guy's a real flat personality. Anyway.
No, he's fine. Like that, he's bringing new life to the name King. Oh, we got jokes here, folks.
We have some questions to answer.
Yeah.
Only one. We have a few. We have a sequence on Twitter, I should say, from
cool.
This cosplay Cass on Twitter here. I like this first one. If you were to remake Full House or another bad sitcom with Transformers characters, who would be who? I think Full House.
Okay.
I think Full House is too many characters. We have to.
But like, thinking of Full House, I have to go. It would be an IDW one. Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, you knew what you were getting into when you asked this. It's the
and
one
it
we
would be Springer's 4 increasingly terrible dads.
Okay,
it would be 4.5 men.
It's Springer and then
the half is
Prowl,
Tarantulas being a spider.
Prowl, Tarantulas, and Cup. Excellent.
Who's the first one you said?
Prowl,
Tarantulas, Cup. There's one more. Who was the last one I was thinking of?
Who's his 4th dad? I think that's all of them.
No, there was a 4th one.
Damn it, Springer, stop having so many dads. Is Ultra Magnus his dad?
It might just be Optimus.
Yeah. He's the absentee father.
It's Cup. It's definitely Cup, Prowl, and Tarantulas, but I'm trying to think. There was a fourth one as well, and it was just like all increasingly terrible.
Cup just acts exactly like Grandpa Simpson, obviously.
Oh yeah, the definition of old man yells at cowed.
Absolutely, he's always chomping that cigar. Yeah, 4.5. I like 4.5 bots there. Big fan of that.
Oh, Impactor. That's who it is. Fourth is Impactor.
So, Springer and his 4 awful dads, Impactor, Cup, Tarantulas.
Prowl and Tarantulas. Each of them increasingly terrible. What's really funny is that, like, Tarantulas is probably the best of the 4 of them. Terrible.
He's
terrible.
He's the one who paid him the most attention, who was the most doting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that would be my sitcom.
The other wreckers can pop in to like audience applause from time to time.
Yeah, the world just shows up to fuck everything up.
The audience goes crazy. Next up, what is the best sort of cold one to crack open with the boys? I'm
actually gonna like go a little off book here. I think it's a scotch.
A scotch. I can see it, but that's also like a certain mood.
Yeah, you know? But I think it's a very masculine, traditionally, and like a little more special, I guess, than like a beer.
True, that's like cracking open a cold one with the boys. If you want it to be like it's been a while, the boys haven't been around. The boys are back in town, but it's only for a little while, and soon the boys of summer will be gone. I
will say that this is based on my relationship with my own dad, with whom I've shared many a scotch.
But I think if you're talking, it's the weekend.
But my dad had daughters only, so as a dyke, I'm the closest he got to a boy.
I think if you're talking weekend get together, regular cracking with the boys. Ooh, I mean, obviously it depends on your preference, right? But I think it must be some form of beer.
Okay, if we're just doing beer, again, controversial opinion. My toxic cishet man trait is that I genuinely like IPAs. And I think like IPAs are like the classic cracking open a cold one.
It's funny. I was drinking a Blue Moon during this recording.
Yeah, I was drinking a Screwball on the rocks. So,
so yeah, I think that's I could either. It depends on but Scotch is a good answer. I like that. It's classy.
Yeah, and I think still like very much with the boys. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's for it's for the boys. And finally, how would you convince someone that Shockwave was on the grassy knoll?
I mean, just show them literally anything that Shockwave's ever done.
Yeah, it's well known.
This man is a war criminal by his very being.
Like, literally everything is his fault to varying degrees in every universe. But, like, it's always to some degree, you know?
Like,
so
always.
He definitely did it. He turns into a gun.
Release my boy. He definitely did that shit, but I don't care.
And that is all on Twitter from Cass. How about you take us to the Discord?
Absolutely. Okay. First up from Nero from Disney Minus is, did Bumblebee really do a Gundam reference? I don't know this reference.
I assume this is when he fucking...
Okay, so I actually do know this reference, which is when Char blows a man's head up with a bazooka, which is a crazy thing that happens in, I think, Zeta. But I don't know how it fits into this.
He doesn't. It's not. So I don't think it is because one, Slipstream's head is not torn off of her body as it is in this. In this fucking video accompaniment. Yeah. And two, he is not standing on the ship, but it is somewhat similar.
So I will say that in Cyberverse, unlike animated, where people just got blown to smithereens and they were fine afterwards, that is not the case here. If someone's head is removed from their body, it is like a death. Or sorry, no, in Beast Wars. That's what it was.
Yeah, no. Animated, I think if you get blown up, you're dead. But you can't
unless you're
get your head
Starscream.
removed. Yeah, well, he's just built different.
Right, no. 100%.
But you can get your head removed with special equipment from the headmaster, obviously.
Right, but generally
but Beast Wars, especially if you are Inferno or Waspinator, you can just get blown the fuck up whenever.
Or, like, Pterosaur.
Oh, yeah, Pterosaur, too. He gets blown up a lot.
Alright. From Short Scream Chet. If the Autobot-Decepticon war never happened, which Autobot/Decepticon duo do you think would be most likely to crack open a cold one with each other? Again, I have to go IDW, and I'm going to say Starscream Bumblebee.
I mean, according to this episode, it's Wheeljack and Shockwave.
That too.
It's good. It's good that the war happened because they never got to collaborate.
Actually, I'm going to change that. It's still Starscream, but Wheeljack instead. Yeah. And again, based totally on IDW.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely cracked up some cold ones even in that comic. They were bros.
Nero from Disney Minus asks, what if the twist of the series was that Bumblebee actually was a Decepticon spy all along? It'd probably be bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. It would be funny, though.
Also from Nero from Disney Minus, why is Guilty Spark here?
We love an annoying orb. It was 2018. Annoying orbs. Well, I guess they never really go out of fashion. For as long as humanity has stood, ever since the very first annoying orb, which was the sun, we have always been fascinated by annoying orb companions. And this is just the latest version of that. Hopefully less treacherous than Guilty Spark.
I don't know who Wheatley. Guilty Spark is.
Guilty Spark is from Halo. I know about him from the Brian David Gilbert video about the Halo books.
I don't play Xbox games.
I've played like an hour of Halo in my life, and I've never played the story. But I know who Guilty Spark is. He's like a treacherous orb.
Cool. From Short Scream Chat, how would you react if you found a hyper-intelligent supercomputer that was nothing but catty and rude to you? Probably the same way I reacted to Portal.
I would download a bunch of cool toolbars onto it and see how it likes that.
I mean, again, realistically, I'd probably die.
I would direct it to fucking like watchmovie.online and turn the ad block off.
Just overload it with spam.
I'm gonna click on every link on that page.
Coup Taraz.
Yeah, Coup Taraz, motherfucker, check this out. Bonzi buddy, don't have idea. Let's download some badass Mafia toolbars. Load you up, sucker. Let's go.
From Ruby Road Rage, Ruby. Name a group that is definitively cracking open a boy with the cold ones.
The DJD.
The White Walkers.
Yeah, actually, that is, yeah. They are not cold, but the DJD do be cracking open boys frequently.
I mean, depends on your definition of cold, if we're using sort of the metaphoric version.
That's true. Those are ice cold motherfuckers. Getaway as well. All of this is IDW1, naturally.
Fuck, Getaway. I can't. Sorry. Sidebar. I can't. First of all, I can't believe that the winner of the cosplay contest at TF Nation this year was a Getaway cosplayer.
What?
Yeah. And disgusting. Second of all, I can't believe that I posted about it and then they quote retweeted me saying, "I feel you." Or something along the yeah, I feel the same way.
Amazing.
And I was like, motherfucker, stop. I wish my life was just not a series of things happening to me at this point.
Just a series of bits.
I didn't tag him or anything. I just said I can't believe a Getaway cosplayer won TF Nation and they found me.
You must have been looking at searching TF Nation.
I was also, well, I hadn't quote retweeted. I just retweeted the picture from Drag Queen Starscream.
Mm-hmm.
Or Drag King Starscream. Drag Starscream at TF Nation, who took a photo with the winner. And then I made like a separate post being like, damn, I can't believe Getaway won. And then I guess they were just like looking through that post as well.
Yeah, but just like looking.
Yeah. No, it was a great cosplay, but I was like, my reaction to them quote retweeting it was to respond with like, I very much admire your dedication to the craft and also guys who suck.
Don't mess with Getaway fans. There are ones of us.
Yeah. Their response to that was, those are definitely my 2 priorities.
Excellent.
All right. Hey, what if the King in Yellow was the barkeep of your favorite dive? Again,
that is basically what is going on here, isn't it?
I don't know who the King in Yellow is.
The King in Yellow is like a Eldritch Abomination, cosmic horror type of guy. I don't know if he's a Lovecraft, but he is sort of a part of that oeuvre.
Okay.
I mean, he might predate it, actually. Let me look it up. I refuse to sound silly.
Yeah, listen, if I don't know a thing, I'll be upfront about it. I have no idea who the King in Yellow is.
The King in Yellow. No, it is not an H.P. Lovecraft thing, but apparently he did tie it in later. It was written by a guy named Robert W. Chambers.
Okay.
It is a horror anthology about various things happening around a titular play, a playbook for the King in Yellow, which has like some horrible curse attached to it.
That's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would be bad, Ruby.
I would not like it. Hopefully, whatever Mac Adams is, he is nice and not fucked up.
And
but
then
if he is fucked up, but he's kind of fucked up, and maybe he's like nice fucked up.
And then also from Ruby Road Rage, Ruby is, hey, isn't it really rude of Hasbro to finally make a Mac Adam into in character when for years Mac Adam was used on Tumblr as a tag for TF fan art? Yeah, so Transformer is actually a shockingly generic name. As it turns out, so people would differentiate it, but instead of just doing Transformers and seeing like electrical Transformers for the really hardcore engineer gangs on Tumblr, etc., they would tag shit with Mac Adam. I think it's fine. I don't think many people actually give a shit about the character itself.
Yeah, I mean, Mac Adams as a name has been around since like the Marvel days. It's one of a very old like reference point.
I feel like as a fan term, it didn't really take off until IDW. But that said, like IDW started in 2005. Like this is not a particularly recent thing, and I don't think again like the character of McAdam is not a particularly popular one.
Yeah, this is just the first time they decided to really do anything with him. Before he's just like been a faceless bartender, pretty much. He's like shown up in side stories, but he's not been like a guy. It's mostly just like the name. The name Mac Adams' Old Oil House is like sort of one of those like throwaway lines from an old comic that people like to reference.
And I would say that like using the tag McAdam is similar to using the tag off parentheses game.
Yeah.
Or like free parentheses anime.
So that, you know, you make the Tumblr post that says, I just beat off. And then you have to really quickly specify
the game.
The game. I beat the game off.
Also, I masturbated.
I can handle this next one. Curly Straw Mystery cast in the Discord asks, why is Guilty Gears? Okay. So a long time ago, there were these things called gears, and they were synthetic magical humans, and they caused a whole lot of havoc. And so Frederick,
and they felt really bad about it, like really guilty.
And his girlfriend teamed up with their guy Oscar R. Krautz to try and figure it out. But during the process, his girlfriend and he died, and Oscar, stricken with grief, turned them into gears. But they forgot who they were, and his girlfriend became like a huge mech lady and blew up Japan.
And felt really bad about it.
And then there were some crusades, I think. But, you know, that's why Guilty Gears.
No, now you're thinking of Fate.
No, there was also crusades in Guilty Gear.
Jesus Christ.
Soul bad guy was in the Crusades, the Neo Crusades against like robots.
My favorite thing is Saul bad guy on the Heroes Wiki and Saul Goodman on a Villains Wiki.
Excellent. Everything balanced as all things should be.
Yeah.
Now this is the chunky one. We got to really think about this one.
Nero from Disney Minus asked a question that we've had in sort of other forms before, but let's go. This has been asked before, but I'm going to add one twist to it. If you were to make a team of Autobots for a new series, who would be your picks for these roles? The leader. To add another twist, Optimus Prime dies either before the series or during the pilot.
I like that.
Based on this, I would actually say Windblade.
I think Windblade would be a really interesting leader because she's an outsider to Cybertronian society, but she has great religious and cultural significance.
Yeah.
So she would, and if
she believes in the primes.
Yes, and if we're going
without being one.
Yeah, and so I think she's a great pick. She's a fish out of water sort of situation, struggling with the burden of leadership and all that. Excellent stuff.
All right, comedic relief for the kids. My first thought, and I don't know why, was Blur.
Blur would be good. I think, usually, obviously, the kid appeal character famously is always yellow in these shows, right? Your Bumblebees, your Hot Shots, your Cheetors. I think Blur would be a good mix it up,
You think Sunstreaker is going to be a good comedic relief character?
Not for the kids. He is very funny, but I don't think he's going to be moving many toys. He's kind of an asshole.
Big Guy is easy for me. I want to see Ironhide again.
I miss him. It's been so fucking long since we've had a main Ironhide.
Yeah.
It's been technically, if you want to really squint, like TV only, it's been since Energon, although that Ironhide is not much like the true Ironhide. He's voiced by Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy for one. But I guess, he was in the movies, but not much.
Yeah.
He got melted. Bring Ironhide back, goddammit.
The next several are actually very easy for me, so I'm just going to go through them really quick. Ninja, I want Drift. Medic, I want Ratchet, always.
And so they can kiss, yes.
Yep. Grumpy Veteran, it's going to be Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Decepticon Spy, I want Brainstorm.
Yes.
Guy who shows...
We're just remaking the crew of the Lost Light with a few changes.
And what about it? Guy who shows up purely to keep the teams evenly numbered once the spy is revealed, Perceptor. And the Decepticon Defector / the cool Six Ranger trope character.
So, if Drift is already here.
Drift is already here.
He's well established as a Defector.
Yeah. I kind of want, like...
Thundercracker.
Well, I kind of want something, like, really, like, deep cut. I'm thinking, like, Horrible.
Wow. Yeah, like some real...
Or Needle Nose together.
Yeah. Because, like, those two, when they showed up in IDW, were like, Jesus fucking Christ, guys. You're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. For bringing these new guys in here. Just like with Tailgate, it was like, I need a guy who's literally never appeared in anything before.
Yeah. Or alternatively, I'd be really interested to see Soundwave as a traitor.
Yeah,
because he's
that sort of
so
happens.
Ideological.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of happens in IDW, right?
It does, though he doesn't defect to the Autobots. He very much does not defect to the Autobots.
Yeah, he doesn't defect, but he is, like, ideologically compromised and struggling.
Yeah.
Which is, I love IDW1 Soundwave. He's like the best Soundwave.
Yeah, okay. Now who's
sons?
Now who's on the Decepticon team? All right, how many people do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have 9.
Well, we need the Elite Trine.
Yeah.
We don't need any other Seekers, though. I don't need any of those fucking cone heads. Maybe Slipstream.
So true.
Maybe.
I kind of want to spend all my points into the Constructicons.
Can they count as one guy?
I don't think so.
Like, realistically, the numbers are skewed, but, like, there's What are they gonna do separately? What are they gonna do? Like,
I kind of like the idea of like Seekers plus the Constructicons.
Right. Although now I'm also thinking, like, what if it's... what about Sunstorm? I think Sunstorm needs to come back as his, like, freakish religious zealot self.
I mean, I do too, but okay. Here's a concept for you. God, I'm trying to think. This is, like, hard. I don't think Starscream can lead.
Okay.
So I think it's like the Elite Trine. Well, listen. I think it's the Elite Trine. It's the Constructicons. And then it's like Terminus, maybe?
No. Bludgeon.
That's also one of... Yeah, Bludgeon. You're right. Yeah.
I was thinking about alternative Decepticon leaders. There's like Bludgeon, there's Scorponok. That's about it as far as like anyone who has any success.
Tyrest. I mean, we could do Tarn.
Tar, there's Galvatron, I guess.
Overlord.
He's not a team player. If it's Overlord,
he's not a team player, but he
faction.
would be a leader. He would be very happy to control other people.
True. I guess there's also Deathsaurus, but I like the idea that
Deathsaurus.
I like the idea that it's Bludgeon.
I think Bludgeon's a good choice. And I also think it's like, what I really like about that is that it's like someone who Starscream could kill within one season.
Yeah. We could also change it up to like...
Because he does!
Seekers and Constructicons is good, but if we do Bludgeon, we could also do like the Sicko Squad.
Hey, remember that time Starscream killed Bludgeon?
Yeah. Look, Bludgeon doesn't stay around all that long a lot of the time, you know? He's here for a good time, not a long time. But yeah, I like Bludgeon, Elite Trine, Constructicons. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost well, it's not actually anywhere close to the Decepticon cast of that new comic. There's no Thundercracker in that. It's very funny. It's just Starscream and Skywarp and then a bunch of Soundwave's shitty sons.
No, because Thundercracker has to be blue.
That's right. And we can't have a second blue guy. That'd just be chaos.
Well,
but yes, that is it for us. You know it. We must leave you now, but of course we have some things to share with you first. I'm Nero. You can find me on Twitter at DragonsMoocher, on co-host at DragonsSuggler, and on Tumblr at Cyclonus with a 5 at the end. My various other projects can be found in various other places. I've got Radio Free Heidelin freshly returning from a hiatus with a new format. First episode out now. Second one going to be coming out later this month. You can find that on Twitter at Heidelin Radio. But I think for going forward, we'll be focusing more on Tumblr.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, it's such a normal website. I don't really know what's going on there. It's tumblr.com/Heidelin Radio, and of course Talk Cycles, the monthly animation podcast I do with Jane. That is also on Tumblr. It's going to be tumblr.com/Talk Cycles. Next episode, Teen Titans Season 1.
Pretty good.
What a shocker that won the poll there. Apparently it's kind of popular.
It's a good show, Brent.
But yeah, that's it for me.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, co-host, and Blue Sky at Optimum on Prime. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can also listen to the other podcast I do. It's called Pot of Greed. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! You can find us on Twitter at Pot of Greedcast. I've also been cast in a radio drama that is in the works right now of being like publicized, so I'm really excited for that coming out soon. And I'm starting a podcast on the Moonshot Network called I'm Eden Here, which is a New York foodie podcast, and that's about me. We are also on the Noise Space Network, which we are very grateful for. There's a bunch of good shows there. You've heard us talk about them. You know it's there. But if you don't, check it out. Listen to the other shows. They're good.
They're good.
And you can find that at noisespace.xyz. And I think that's about it. So until next time, then, I am going to avoid eye contact when you ask if I'm one of the original 13 primes. Transform and roll out.
I am going to go down into engineering, cut all a few lines, and vent my sus crewmate, transform and roll out.
Peach.
Peach.